Janice Tjen and Eala duet at the WTA 500 Abu Dhabi Open 2026. Jakarta. Two young Southeast Asian tennis players who are stealing the spotlight, Janice Tjen and Eala, will duet at the 2026 Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open, which will be held on February 1st to 7th. Opening the WTA 500 tournament, the Indonesian-Filipino pair immediately faced a tough challenge by meeting the Canadian-French duo, Leylah Fernandez and Kristina Mladenovic, in the first round. Janice has a record of the latest meeting with Leylah after the two met in the opening round of the Australian Open. In the match, the Jakarta-born player came out as the winner through a straight two-set victory. However, Janice's move in the Australian Open singles was stopped in the second round after being defeated by former world number 1 Karolina Pliskova. In the doubles sector, Janice, who was paired with Polish tennis player Katarzyna Pitta, also had to be eliminated early after losing to the host pair. At the Abu Dhabi Open, Janice, who received a wildcard, is scheduled to face Australian player Maya Joint in the singles match. Meanwhile, Eala will meet Turkish player Zeynep Sönmez, who also entered the tournament through a wildcard. Previously, Eala also had not achieved the maximum result at the Australian Open. The 20-year-old tennis player was eliminated in the first round of singles after losing 3 sets to the United States representative, Alicia Parks. In the doubles, Eala, who paired with Brazilian tennis player Ingrid Martins, was unable to get past the opening match after being defeated by the Polish-Japanese pair, Magda Linette and Shuko Aoyama. Even though they are now paired, Janice and Eala are known as strong rivals. Their last meeting was at the São Paulo Open in Brazil last September. In the quarterfinal match of the WTA 250 tournament, Janice came out as the winner through 2 straight sets. The two also strengthened their respective countries at the 2025 Thailand SEA Games in December. Janice had to end her fight in the semifinals due to health problems and won a bronze medal, while Eala successfully brought home the gold medal. Janice and Eala are scheduled to play the opening matches in singles and doubles at the WTA 500 Abu Dhabi Open, Monday, 2 halves. Duet of Dreams, Janice Tjen and Eala at the 2026 WTA 500 Abu Dhabi Open. In the sprawling expanse of Zayed Sports City, under the golden desert sun and the shimmering lights of Abu Dhabi's tennis courts, an unlikely symphony began to take shape, one that would resonate far beyond match points and scoreboards. This was not merely another stop on the WTA Tour. This was where two young stars from Southeast Asia, Janice Tjen of Indonesia and Eala of the Philippines, converged, not as rivals but as partners, composing a duet that captured the imagination of fans, pundits, and aspiring athletes alike. Their collaboration at the 2026 Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open, a WTA 500 tournament held from February 1st to 7th, was more than a strategic pairing on paper. It was a story woven from ambition, regional pride, and the long arc of personal journeys that had brought both athletes here, to a stage that many dream of but few attain. The stage is set, a tournament worth fighting for. The Abu Dhabi Open is one of the most competitive stops on the WTA 500 circuit, drawing elite talent from around the world. This year's event featured top players, seasoned veterans, and rising stars alike, all converging on outdoor hardcourts in the UAE capital in pursuit of ranking points, prize money, and glory. For Janice and Alex, entry into this prestigious tournament came through wild cards awarded by the WTA, a recognition of their potential and rising stature on the women's circuit. Wild cards, invitations granted at the discretion of organizers, symbolized both opportunity and challenge. They gave these young talents a chance to dance with the game's best, while also reminding them that they must prove their merit in every point, every game, and every set. 2. From rivals to partners. The making of a duet. Janice and Alex had crossed paths many times before. Their rivalry was well documented. They had faced off in WTA events such as the São Paulo Open, where Janice emerged victorious, showcasing her powerful ground strokes and calm under pressure. They also competed in regional competitions like the SEA Games, where Alex had claimed a gold medal while Janice battled through health challenges to secure bronze. These shared experiences, of triumph, setback, and relentless effort, seeded a mutual respect that would later blossom into partnership. So when the Abu Dhabi Open organizers announced that the Indonesian-Filipino duo would team up in women's doubles, it stirred excitement across Southeast Asia. It was rare to see players from the region, each with her own national story, unite at a top-level WTA event. Fans on social media delighted in the news. Hashtags celebrating Eala Tjen trended in tennis communities as supporters from both nations rallied behind the partnership, not just as a pairing of convenience but as a representation of regional unity and youthful promise. 3. The opponents await: Fernandez and Mladenovic. Their opening challenge was nothing short of a baptism by fire. Facing Leylah Fernandez of Canada and Kristina Mladenovic of France, a duo seasoned with experience and tactical savvy. Fernandez had previously tested Janice in a heated Australian Open match, while Mladenovic's doubles pedigree spoke for itself. For Janice and Alex, this was not just a match, it was a statement. It was the chance to measure their fledgling partnership against established opponents, to see whether their chemistry could translate into clutch coordination on the court. The pressure was palpable, yet so too was the sense of possibility. A possibility that players from emerging tennis nations could hold their own in tennis's global theater. 4. Beyond the scoreline. Stories behind the serve: Janice Tjen, the Indonesian powerhouse. At just 23 years old, Janice Tjen had already carved a compelling narrative in professional tennis. Known for her aggressive baseline game and incisive forehands, she commanded respect in singles and brought that same fire to doubles. Her journey was one of persistence, coming up through the ranks, battling injuries, and encountering the game's elite. Janice embodied the resilience that defines modern athletes. Her triumphant win against a top player like Leylah Fernandez at the Australian Open earlier in the year was proof that she belonged among the sport's rising talents. Now, on the vast courts of Abu Dhabi, she carried not just the hopes of Indonesia but the confidence of a player who had earned every point through sweat and grit. Eala, the Filipino trailblazer. Across the net and soon beside her in doubles stood Eala, a name synonymous with Filipino tennis. At 20 years old, she had already blazed trails for her country, claiming junior Grand Slam success and establishing herself within the WTA's competitive hierarchy. Alex's game was a blend of finesse and tenacity. Her movement, tactical awareness, and ability to construct points made her a formidable foe in singles and a strategic asset in doubles. Yet, like Janice, her road had seen heartbreak. A tough exit at the Australian Open reminded her that talent must be continually honed, and that the sport's margins are unforgiving. But now, in Abu Dhabi, Alex had a new chapter before her, one that,